Rats eat eggs.
Hello, everybody. This podcast is Lava, and greetings, everybody. This is Morning Eggnog. My name is James Font. With me, as always, I have Sam Shoemaker, and also with me, as always, I have Caleb Font.
Good morning, everybody.
I don't know what camera to look at.
This is the crossover episode. I'm holding upside down. I don't care. This is our crossover episode at GameCon 2019 here at Northwest State Community College. So it's a GameCon. So what does that mean? What are we expecting today, guys?
All right, Sam.
People play a lot of Monopoly. I'm told that there is an Uno tournament today. We're talking about Sorry. If you guys ever played Risk, there's going to be a Risk tournament taking over the world.
It's going to take over the entire day to win Risk.
1 week later, we have a champion.
There's just two guys just like crying because they're so tired and hungry. It's like, I want this game to be over.
There's just buckets.
I'll give you Ukraine.
You are not allowed to stop until the game is over. You're no potty breaks, no water.
Just take Russia. I don't care anymore. Irkutsk, take Irkutsk.
Nobody wants Australia.
Everybody wants Australia.
That's true. Australia is the best.
When I started in Australia one time, and then I took over the world. It was great.
Yeah,
because you build forces and then you
punch
just
your way out.
You just swarm through Eastern Europe.
Yeah, you just punch your way out and you'll be okay.
Yeah.
So today we're talking about world history and why Australia needs to conquer the world.
Exactly.
No, but anyways, we are really excited to be here at GameCon. Thank you for Mike Vanderpool for allowing us to be here. We'll be having an interview with him later on. We're going to be going around the con. Be sure to check us out on YouTube, James Fox Podcast, and you can see we'll be doing coverage, going around interviewing people on what's going on there. So, and you can see this podcast on there.
That's right.
So we were going to talk a little bit about video games. What was the first video game you guys remember playing?
Sam?
You're older.
I'm old. Ouch. Okay, so let the 30-year-old go first.
Yeah, you're only... Oh, crap, you're only 8 years older than me.
He's like, what happened? You peaked. Okay, so the first video game I think I remember, I got a couple here, that I remember watching my dad play. One was the original Duke Nukem.
Oh my gosh.
Was the original.
Classic.
I played that on a DOS laptop.
Exactly.
It's super fun.
So the first one I really remember was that was one of the main ones. Warcraft, the original
Warcraft, where you had to, yeah.
And then Mother Goose.
Mother Goose was another good one that I remember watching my sister play. It was you had to find items for everybody.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then they played really cheesy.
It was an RPG, but it was
as a goose.
As a goose.
No, you weren't a goose.
You weren't a goose.
You were stolen out of your bed by a goose and taken to the realm,
the
fairy tale land, and so you have to help all these characters find their junk.
Yeah. So like you'll go to the old lady in the shoe, and you have to help her find one of her kids or something.
Yeah.
It's something
That's
ridiculous.
Cool.
And so you got to go find all these items. And then when you do, then this really tacky music comes on, and
What platform was that on? Was that a PC game?
PC game.
It's a PC.
Okay.
See, we grew up on PC games. That's all I grew
I
up.
actually think that was a DOS.
DOS.
I think it was
but
DOS.
It's still a computer. It's not like a gaming system.
That's true.
Right,
yes.
you're not playing like on a Nintendo or like an Atari.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
Sam, what was your first video game that you remember playing or watching being played?
There's probably going to be... I don't know what was my first, so there's 3 games that I remember. I don't remember which I remember first.
Yep.
First game was Jedi Outcast
That was
on the PC.
I think I played that.
Jedi Outcast.
Amazing game.
I
Had
might have played that.
dismemberment. You could turn on dismemberment. You could decapitate stormtroopers. It was an amazing game.
Turns on dismemberment.
Second game was Age of Empires 2.
That one was
That was the game I was never allowed to play.
One of my first video games.
Age of Empire 2.
My brother would kick me out of the basement while he played it because he's like, "This isn't a kid's game. You can't watch me play."
Oh my!
He was
gosh.
saying that to get me away from him, but I remember that game. And then the third and final game was on the Game Boy, the original gray, no backlight screen Game Boy, Operation C.
There we go.
I don't know.
Side-scrolling shooter where you got this, you're just like machine gunning enemies that run towards you. It was a lot of fun. I don't think I ever beat it, but I came this close. There's no saves on it, so you play mission 1 through 9.
It was like going to an arcade, but in your pocket.
Right. So you'd if you shut it down, if the batteries died, if you died too many times, there was no you go back to that mission beginning. You went back to the start.
Oh,
and
wow.
I got to the final mission, but I could never beat the final mission.
I had a game like that on my old Game Boy. It was a boxing game. And so you had to fight through like 9 opponents that you had to fight through. The problem is if you got beat at any point, you had to restart completely to fight through all 9 opponents before you can get to the baddest guy.
I would hate that.
I think that's the one where my Game Boy may have broke. I'm not gonna.
Somewhere at like
Did you snap
9.5.
Did your
No.
9-year-old self snap it in half?
No, but it may have traveled across the room at a large velocity.
You just
I see.
yeeted the Game Boy across the room.
I did.
Yeah, I feel that.
I don't believe you.
So James, what was your first video game memory?
I have several because we had the original NES. So
Oh,
we,
epic.
We played Duck Hunt a lot.
I remember
we had
that.
the gun. We had the gun. It was super fun.
The
And
Zapper, the Nintendo Zapper.
I don't really remember, but we did have the dance pad for the original NES. Or maybe that was Super
Oh
Nintendo.
yeah,
we had the dance pad.
You had the dance pad for the original.
I don't remember using that at all. But and then the other video game that one of my earliest memories.
Oh, I remember. It was for jumping. The jumping
yep.
game.
Oh, the run
the Olympics.
Yeah.
Because you had to like run really like so you were like and then you'd have to jump as high as you could to get as much distance.
Physically jumping
Yeah,
in
physically
real
jump.
world.
Yeah, it's what
Because I never had a gaming system until like the 360, the Xbox
we
360.
didn't either. We had, I guess we did. We had really, really old stuff, and then Mom wouldn't let us get anything new.
yeah.
I didn't even have that. We
So-
were lucky to have the Game Boy, and
I
that was
see.
like the advanced technology.
Game Boy Advance,
In
but it wasn't
2008,
Advance.
If I wanted something, I have to buy it with my own money.
Yep, that's.
that was the same logic.
I wasn't even allowed to buy it with my own money. I was gonna buy his Xbox or something from him. Mom's like, no.
It took a lot to finally be able to get the 360 back in the day. Like I was like, Mom and Dad, I will work really hard. I'll save it the money, and I bought it for like $250 back in the day.
Oh my gosh.
And I played Halo 3 like religiously after
Yep.
that.
Oh,
and then
yes.
I didn't like playing Halo with you because you'd always kill me. And then one of the other video games I remember playing, or at least watching my brothers play, was Half-Life 1.
Okay.
They played a lot of Half-Life 1, and I
And Quake.
think I was always very scared of it because all the face hugging zombie crabs.
The face hugging zombie.
You think of
crab.
Yeah,
Aliens?
it's Half-Life. No,
Al-
face hugging.
Alien has the face huggers.
Yeah.
You've never played Half-Life, have you?
No,
They
I
have a
haven't.
face hugging zombie crab.
So they must
Can't
have
wait for the
swiped
VR
it.
version of that. You're in VR, and then just
So
Alien VR.
Those
you
are-
basically just hit the expensive VR goggles off your face.
Half-Life VR is
Too
a
real-
nightmare.
It's too realistic.
Too realistic. Okay. In VR, what would be a game that you would play and you would not play in VR?
I would never not play a game in VR.
You would never not play a game
I
on
would
VR,
always, if I had the chance to play a game in VR, I would always play it, no matter if it's scary or not.
even if it was like Saw.
Yeah, I'd do it. I wouldn't like it, but
I
I'd do
think,
it.
yeah, no, that's fair, but I wouldn't like certain games. I think the two game, like one is a specific
Okay, I
game.
thought of something, but anyways,
You thought of a game you wouldn't play?
yeah.
What wouldn't you play?
I don't. It's probably not out yet. It's something. I don't know. Something with a lot of nudity. I wouldn't
Oh.
like that.
Oh yeah, I'd go with that.
It's already being used.
There's two. I would want to play Left 4 Dead 1 and 2
That'd
in
be
VR.
super
That would
fun.
be amazing. And then
Hanging out with your buddies, killing
yeah,
zombies,
the second thing would be
wrecking your house.
just
throwing your
generically, I would want to play like a Battlefront or like a Call of Duty
That would be
or
pretty
a
sweet.
Battlefield in
Yeah.
a VR experience where the mechanics were really smooth, because right now the hardest part is like getting reloading mechanics
See,
to
getting-
work when you're
getting a
using
game-
two actual hands and not just pressing a button.
The difference between having a game that's adapted to VR and having a game that's built from the ground up for VR is completely different. Like,
Right.
did you see the or were we together when we saw the new Half-Life
Yeah,
Alex
yeah.
trailer? Have you seen that?
Mm-mm, I have
There's
not seen
There's
that.
a new VR game, Half-Life game coming out. It's not Half-Life 3. It's just called Alex, and I think it's leading up to Half-Life 2. And the game mechanics look phenomenal.
That would be sweet.
Because they
like-
built it ground up.
They built it ground
for
up
VR.
So like, there's this one point in the trailer where there's a bunch of stuff on the shelf, and the person runs forward and smacks the stuff off the shelf to get
ammo that's
ammo
on
that's
the shelf.
on the shelf behind the other
Okay,
stuff.
that's
and then
pretty
load
sweet.
It.
Right.
It looks amazing and
But
phenomenal.
then you adapt Fallout 4, and it's a
not
nightmare.
made for it.
It's not made for it. Yeah, I think if they could do anything, I think like a Grand Theft Auto
That would be fun.
that was built for VR.
Yeah, that'd be really sweet.
You know,
Committing
for the most part.
crimes in the VR, not in real life, everyone.
Exactly.
Crime would go to zero.
But if you think about it, it would be super fun to be able to do, jump in a car and go driving and all that different stuff. It would be super
Assassin's Creed.
cool. Assassin's
I would
Creed.
very
have
scary.
I would have
I would
vertigo
pee my
so
pants.
bad.
It would be so difficult though, because you actually have to climb, and so you have
Right.
to climb up stuff. That would be interesting to see how they
And
would.
the deluxe edition of
Assassin's Creed.
so the deluxe edition of Assassin's Creed VR would be a climbing wall that you get installed in your house.
oh,
Have you ever seen the virtual golf?
I leave it to Tesla to develop that.
I do too.
They would develop the.
Have you ever seen the virtual golf?
Yeah.
Where like it's a giant screen and then you hit a ball and
You actually physically hit the ball into the screen and the screen detects the impact.
I was
rate.
at a doctor's house that had one.
Okay, then.
In his house.
When you know you have money and you can afford just about anything you want.
You might have
it's
too
only
much.
$3,000.
You know, you might have too much money when you can afford a golf simulator.
Exactly. Well, you know.
Who needs to go to the course?
I ain't going to no course. Now, what is the favorite? Is that the next question?
So what is your guys' favorite video game that you've ever played in your entire life? Like you've played through it multiple times.
It would honestly be Halo 3. Halo 3 is probably one of the legendary games of all time.
It was made in 2007 and it still looks goodish.
It still looks good. And you can turn the skulls on, and you get happy little dead people. Like you shoot a grunt in the
and
head.
there's the "I would be your daddy" skull, so they say stupid stuff.
Exactly. They say the most random things, so you get confetti, random things being spouted by little grunts and other
you're
people.
invisible.
Invisible.
You can turn on the skull; it makes you invisible.
No.
No, it makes your hood. It makes your
you
hood
invisible, but everybody else can see you.
It makes your hood invisible, so it's just a screen, and it's terrible.
Yeah.
I think it's blind. I think the blind skull, or maybe that's your radar.
And then what's the
don't
one?
remember.
Catch is another horrible one.
Catch is where they just throw grenades
where all the enemies.
That one
just
is
have
super fun.
foil.
And if you turn on cowbell, so the explosions are bigger. Oh boy! I would have to say my favorite game is probably Halo 3, with like a cross of like maybe Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah,
Because a lot of times when I grew up, we didn't really play a lot of online games. Most of it was like local. So somewhere in that like nostalgic realm of Fallout New Vegas, Battlefront 2, and Jedi Outcast and Halo 3 is like my favorite game. If they all came together.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to pick one, because it's like Halo 3 was awesome between us, like having the sleepovers and stuff, and just playing
video games
playing
till
until
2 in the
5
morning.
a.m., you know.
Yeah, what am I saying? 5.
But then
Back when I was 16, I could stay up till 5.
Yeah.
But then there's also a lot of good memories where you're playing the single player game, and even though
It's
you're
still
by
fun.
yourself, it's
Yeah.
still fun. Fun story.
All right.
Every time Shake It Off by Taylor Swift comes on the radio,
Oh my gosh.
I have a vivid flashback
Oh no.
to Fallout New Vegas, because when I played through that game, that song was trending on the radio, and it was like every other song. So I would sit in my room for like 5 or 6 hours and play Fallout New Vegas with the radio on, and that song would play 20 times.
Yep. It was the same thing with Fallout 3 for me. I'd listen to the SFM, and so they had their like 6 songs they go through.
Yeah.
So I got really familiar with those 6 songs.
So that's your trigger?
Yeah.
You're like, New Vegas, PTSD.
Your memory binds to that.
Yeah, my trigger is Taylor Swift.
I don't like this anymore.
I think I'm going to have to say the game that is one of my favorites that I've played multiple times is Halo 3. It's one of my favorite games I ever played. Halo Reach is a close second because I had a lot of good times with Caleb. We hung out and played.
Halo Reach was awesome.
Yeah.
Halo Reach was really fun. Other video games I did play a ton of Fallout 3.
Yeah.
I played that game so much. Fallout 4 was okay, but
You and I used to talk on the phone while we played
right.
while we played Fallout at the same time.
and we'd be like, oh, what are you looking at right now? Wow, that's really cool. I'm looking at this. Oh, I just killed a raider. Oh, that's pretty sick. Oh, look at this. Oh, the super mutant just killed me, man. Oh, dang it. Have you got Fox yet? No, who's Fox?
I'm salty about Fox from Fallout 3
Why is that?
because he was the strongest companion and he was almost unkillable.
Oh my gosh, I remember this story.
Almost unkillable. I'm walking through the wasteland having a grand old time listening to Fallout radio. Good old Three
you
Dog.
weirdo guy.
Listening to Three Dog, you know? And all of a sudden I get the little blip on your screen, Fox has died. And I go, what? I turn around, he's not there. I just start running around, and I finally find his corpse beside a death claw with like 1 health bar left.
Oh.
So while I was walking, he must have aggroed the death claw, gone off to fight him while I'm still walking away. I hated it. I didn't have a save file either for him to be alive.
Oh no.
No, my save file was back before I found him.
I don't remember. I think I saved it.
You mean you don't quick save every 2 seconds?
Nope. I think I saved while walking in the wasteland before I got the notification that he died, so I could never make it back to the Death Claw before it killed him.
Oh,
That's
was just,
super fun.
It was just a nightmare. Because
It's like, wow.
that was how you survived, was having a companion that strong, because you always had the minigun.
Oh, that would suck. I've done that in several games where you're playing and you die and you realize the last time you saved was like 2.5 hours ago and you're like, no.
Worse yet, with Fallout and some other games, the quick save feature typically was when you go through a door.
Yeah.
So for, I think, Fallout 3 and 4, I've had circumstances where
Oh, no.
you go through a door, you instantly get murdered by something. I think in one
Through the door.
Well, I think in one instance, I was being chased. I ran into a building, and no matter what I did, the enemy automatically loaded in behind me. And I think it was one of those like suicidal super mutants, so they had a mini nuke. Instantly dies, reloads that save.
Instantly dies.
was,
It's the worst Groundhog Day ever.
I think
Basically.
I think Call of Duty did that to me one time where
yeah.
I saved it, the tank shot, and I died. So it was like
Yes.
spawn, boom, dead every
And
time.
You can't do anything about
Oh,
it. It's-
Except
gosh.
get very angry and
maybe,
rage quit.
And maybe go way, 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 way back.
Yeah.
It's super annoying.
Restart the mission.
Restart.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time, boys.
Okay, serious question, guys. What's your favorite board game?
How about we start with our least favorite board
What's
games?
your least favorite board game?
Monopoly.
Caleb?
I will not play Monopoly. I will not play Clue.
I know why you won't
Really?
play Clue anymore.
Why won't you play Clue?
Because, so something that people may or may not know, Caleb is extremely competitive.
I am extremely competitive.
And so I was playing with Caleb and his wife Marty, and he got it to a point where he didn't care if I won. He lost because he guessed wrong, and he was just not gonna let his wife win.
okay, let's rephrase. Let's go back.
And he gave me all of the tools necessary to win, and I screwed it up.
My wife won 4 or 6 times
Oh.
in a row. And after a while, you're like,
There's no point.
why am I playing this
There's
dumb
no point
game?
anymore.
Yeah.
She's the luckiest person in the world. She is. She's super lucky with all games. So after that 6 times, I was just like, I'm never playing this game ever again.
It's not fun. You get to a point. There's a psychology behind it, and I heard it
That's
explained
why I
one
like
time.
it. That's why I like Clue. It's not my favorite game, but
No. Not. There's a psychology behind losing so many times you just give up.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
And so,
Which, yeah, that's fair.
but yeah, Clue is very fun if you can win sometimes, or there's an inkling of winning. But when you lose 6 times in a row,
Right.
I would not have anything.
So the thing is, then you just have to play against different people.
So who's
Yes.
your least favorite? What's
What's
your
my-
least favorite game? Who's your least favorite game?
I think any like simple or boring game where I don't know.
It's too easy to win.
No, it's like you
Too
just go around.
simplistic.
You just go around in circles. Like
War.
Sorry is not something I'm like super
Yeah.
into. I don't have a least favorite game, but that's probably like in there with them.
See, Sam and I and our friend Greg and Silas, the other podcast's Lava co-host, we had a yearly tradition at Sam's birthday parties. We would play Monopoly. Every single time, Greg won.
Greg won by like $1 million.
Like
Oh, wow.
every
so much,
time.
every single time. It was ridiculous. And
He
so
would- he
but we
wouldn't
kept
even-
playing because it was fun, because it would get close sometimes. And I think the last game night we played, we had, I think Josiah Sprunger was on. He's been on our podcast once in a
Yeah.
while, and he beat Greg.
Yes.
Ah.
So
the
let's
only
just be clear.
loss Greg's
Let's
ever
just be
had.
clear. Greg didn't even always have Park Place and Boardwalk.
He just got them from you for charging you.
He would get them in rent for his like really small property with 6 hotels on
You know
it.
the first purple one you get, but then
Yeah.
he had like 8 hotels on him, and you're like, oh, I got charged as much as Park Place times 3.
It was pretty cool. I liked it. Not really at all.
No.
So, but I still like Monopoly. I still enjoy Monopoly.
Okay, so what's your I don't know what my least favorite game is.
Yeah. What is your
I don't think I have a least favorite.
one you
Card
lose a
game.
lot typically?
A game that if you had a choice, you would rather not play that one.
I haven't played a game in a long time. There was a Monopoly. It was called Monopoly World, and the rules were completely different. It wasn't as fun. I don't know. It wasn't as hard.
Okay.
There was one where you had like
I
a
can't
credit
really think.
card too.
Yeah, there's
and
that one
w-
too.
See again, if they take a game that you've already established the rules on and then they just change it just to sell a different version, then I'm kind of like, no, I don't want to play that. I'd rather just simple rules that I know.
So what is your Fate? No, I like playing Phase 10, even though it's one of the most cutthroat games in the world, and everyone hates it. what's your favorite game, Caleb?
Okay,
Board
my
game,
favorite game of all
board
time.
and or card game.
I would almost have to put it in two different categories.
Okay, so what's your two favorite board?
Okay, so board game, the farming game.
That game is amazing.
That is an
I love
amazing
that game.
That is
You're
probably
playing against the board. You're not playing against other players.
You're playing against nature itself, pretty much.
Which is a great concept because it matches the real world. Like it's a very realistic game.
Very
Exactly.
seldom in 2019 in America are you fighting against somebody else.
Yeah.
Very seldom do you play that game anymore too.
Yeah.
I don't know many people that play that anymore. I enjoy it.
Yeah, we should play it sometime on the podcast. Do it like a 6-hour podcast.
Try and create the biggest cherry tree farm.
Yeah. Each person has a goal. You have to set a goal, and you have the most cows, or you have the most
Cherries.
wheat, or you've got the most.
Oh
You
my
have the
gosh,
most
that'd be
cherries.
I love that. Yeah, you got the little icons to put on the board.
Yeah,
that are
the
like
little sticky icons.
10 head of cows, whatever.
Oh, they were the best.
And then you lick them and stick them down. If you're my mother,
I wasn't.
Oh.
It just got weird.
Oh no.
she'd stick them down. It's like, Mom, now they're all gross.
Yeah.
I would always try and arrange them. Like if there was a barn on the board, I'd be like, I'm gonna put my cows right there.
Anyways,
My favorite, best card in the world, Mount St. Helens blows.
that one is a
Yes.
great card.
Roll an even, you make so much money. Roll odds, you go bankrupt.
Everything dies. All of your
Everything is dead.
So what is your favorite card game?
early frost. Everything dies.
Favorite card game? Oh my goodness.
I have several. That's the problem.
I would have to say
Apples.
Pitch would
Pitch?
probably be.
Pitch.
Pitch is a Kansas game. It's a lot like euchre, except you play with the whole deck, and it's aggressive, but yet it's just one of those games that's just great playing with lots of people
Okay.
because you can play with 4, 5, or 6 players, and each time.
I think I might have played with you once.
And every time you change it, the rules change a little bit. So each way,
Yeah.
when you add more
You're on your
people,
toes.
it changes it. There was another game I played. I don't remember what it's called, but you don't know the rules of the game, and you have to figure out the rules of the game as you play.
Flux.
I think it was something like that.
Flux is a game where the rules change based on you could actually play a rule card. So it's like, here's a rule card. You can't play green cards or something like that. And so then until someone nullifies or changes that rule card,
It's in play.
it's in play.
That's
and so you can
that's
actually
interesting.
end up stacking rule cards, and then you can have cards
my
that
gosh.
cancel a rule card. It gets crazy, but the whole concept is it's chaotic. And what that does, there's also the game-winning card.
You just
that-
play it and you win.
No, it's the card that dictates what you need to win.
Okay.
And that can change. So you can have a hand that's one card away from winning. Someone changes
Oh
that
my
card,
gosh.
and you have a worthless hand.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
amazing.
That sounds fun.
It is.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Games like that where rules, like you don't specifically know the rules and nobody tells you the rules.
See,
Yeah.
those are mind-bending games. But see, my favorite card
You
game.
got to keep track of everything like
Yeah.
as you're playing.
See,
You have to.
one of my favorite card games is still the Cards Against Humanity because I've had so much fun with it.
That's almost
with
like
my
a
friends.
different. That's almost like a different level of cards, but that's fine. That's fine.
And also,
'Cause that's like a social
like apples
game.
to apples. I know. Well,
But- which is
isn't
good.
Playing cards social.
Right, but like
Social game. I hate being.
if you think about it, it's
I
not
play one-player card
It's not
games.
competitive in the same way.
I
Like
know.
you're playing it to have like a social laugh, whereas the rest are competitive to beat your friends.
yeah,
So it is a card game. It's just a different.
yeah. Plus, I
class.
love judging my friends.
I do
Yeah.
love judging my friends and going, "Wow, you're a terrible person."
Exactly.
Actually, everybody does that to me. But
I love playing those kind of games with somebody who has no sense of humor.
those are fun.
Like
with
my
Cody.
mom. My mom is hilarious to play games like
Just
that.
kidding.
Like playing apples to apples with my mother.
Holy
is
crap! She won
hilarious.
She won
The Gauntlet.
the gauntlet.
Somebody just walked by with the Infinity Gauntlet. If you watched on the YouTube video, you could see it.
Who would
She
not
won
want
it
an
as a
Infinity
door
Gauntlet?
prize. That's like $1 billion door prize because you could snap half the universe away.
Exactly. Or just punch people with it, and it would be amazing.
Just
Your
break
kids
your
are
hand.
behaving,
If
misbehaving.
you think about it, it was forged in the same forges as Melnir and whatever the sword is. So technically, it could do the same things, right? As Melnir.
That's true.
So you have to spin your arm a lot.
Superman. That's how Superman really flies.
He wears stuff from the Marvel universe. Yeah, so Cards Against Humanity is one of my favorites. It's fun and easy to play, and it's really easy to pick up on.
Yeah.
Another social but smaller group card game that I like is euchre. I mean, that's just
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a Northwest?
Yes,
Northwest
it
Ohio
is.
thing?
It is a north. It is well.
No,
I
It's
would
a
say
Midwest thing.
Midwest. I would say.
Because euchre is it's
Which
Are we
Really-
in Midwest?
I learned Ohio is technically the Midwest.
I would say it would be Northwest, honestly.
Kind of. But if you think about what's weird about
North
this,
Midwest.
is that, what is it, Wisconsin is Midwest as well. They actually call the Wisconsin accent the Midwest accent. I didn't know this. Technically, we don't have a Midwestern accent.
We have northern accents.
They're like northern accents.
Which makes it so
right,
weird.
we have the right accents.
I'm thinking like
we enunciate words correctly.
I'm thinking like Texas
Typically.
and Oklahoma and Kansas. I'm
Right.
thinking that is central,
like it's
Midwest.
Midwest, but actually we're like in the east, so we're like northeastern American,
Something like that.
Yeah.
but it's still the Midwest.
This is way off topic.
Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, you play euchre and you like euchre and
Favorite board game? I don't know if I have one. I don't.
Monopoly.
Monopoly? No, Monopoly's not really my favorite board game. If I have to sit down with a board game with someone, I don't know. I haven't played a board game in so long because normally I just play card games with people,
Yeah.
or we
Yeah.
play Salad Bowl.
I just thought of another game I really enjoyed as a kid was Hook.
Hook?
Hook. Okay, so the movie that
Robin Williams.
Robin Williams was in Hook. He was Peter Pan. Hook. So the goal was to go to race and to find the kids, to find the children.
Yep.
And they were all in a barrel, and you spin the barrel, and they're under the barrel somewhere, so you have to find them. And so once you find them,
I'm so confused.
what?
I'm just confused. Continue
Okay,
talking.
so basically,
you just said a barrel, and then you spin the barrel around, and then you have to find the kids under
so-
the barrel, and there's a barrel.
So Captain Hook has your children. Captain Hook has put them in a barrel amongst a bunch of other barrels on a spinny top.
Got it.
And so you have to go find these kids, and once you do, you have to take them back to London before Hook catches you.
Oh, no.
And the thing is if you're playing with multiple players, you roll, and then everybody else gets to roll as Hook.
Oh, okay. I was wondering how that was going to work.
Yeah. So,
That's scary.
So you roll with 2 dice, but everybody else gets to roll with 1.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So it was actually a pretty fun game.
It's kind of terrifying.
Another one that my wife used to love as a kid was Jurassic Park, where you're running away from the T-Rex and the other guys.
And these aren't real games. These are just like
These are board games.
really.
Yeah, there's a board
These
game.
aren't games. They're mind games.
It's
Yeah, they're board
That
games,
just
dude.
reminds me. Oh, interesting. That reminds me of a board game that I forgot that I had as a kid. The Star Wars Escape from the Death Star.
oh,
What?
that actually sounds really fun.
I think that's what it was called. I could be wrong, but it was like you had these little. Remember the old games? Instead of pieces, you had the plastic bottom, with
Yep.
like a little clip, and then
Yeah,
there was like
with
a
the
folded
cardboard
cardboard
person.
insert.
Yeah.
And you had all the different characters, and I can't remember the rules for the life of me because it's been probably 15 years since I last played it. But you'd have
Played
to
it
like
when you were
shut.
7?
Pretty sure, yeah. You had to shut down the tractor beam, I think.
Okay.
And then you had to get your crew out of the Death Star. I think that's what it was. Now I have to go Google that because that was really interesting. But yeah, the movie-themed games where it was kind of like, here's a scene from the movie, and you kind of have to like
play through it.
reenact that. Yeah. My brother and I once played a VHS interactive board game for Star Trek.
Oh.
You had this like Klingon guy on the screen.
Are you sure you're not 45?
Positive. He was on the screen, and he'd be like, randomly, he'd be like, "You there on the right, you lose a turn."
And you're like, oh, no.
It was amazing. Oh yeah, good stuff.
So Sam, what's your favorite
Sam,
board
what's
game?
your favorite?
Thanks for asking, guys.
We don't care about you.
My favorite card game is probably Euchre and Cards Against Humanities,
Yep, those are fun card games.
and also that one dungeon game we played with Silas, where you built your dungeon with your cards.
Oh, right. That was
And you had
fun.
to-
I can't. Boss Monster.
Boss Monster.
That was
I
a super
enjoyed
fun
that.
game.
You haven't played that much, but I enjoyed it.
No.
Board game wise,
I know what my favorite tabletop game is.
Gaslands.
Gaslands.
Gaslands is an amazing tabletop
Gaslands is
game.
awesome.
Yeah, I heard you guys talking about that. It sounded really sweet.
It takes
played
8
it
years
twice.
to explain it.
Yeah. Played it twice.
Real quick. Mike, can we get an interview? All right now. You look.
I'm fabulous. How are you? You're looking good. How do I look?
That's a
You
great.
look fantastic. You look phenomenal. You look
You look a
phenomenal.
little-
You're wearing a
little
Lego
scruffy.
shirt.
You like that?
You are getting a scruffy. I like it. You're looking like a mountain man. Will you go announce stuff? We got to grab an interview with you at some point though.
Yes.
But this is the man who set this whole thing up.
This is not that time.
No, I
now
agree.
is not the time.
Now is not the time. I just think, and so it begins.
And so
The two kind of people for Christmas.
Yep.
So, yeah, Gaslands is a good tabletop game. Board game, though, again, it's torn by situation because Monopoly is fun, Clue is fun, farming game is
Never
fun.
with your spouse. Monopoly is
Never
not
with
fun with your spouse.
No,
Continue.
never with your spouse or your girlfriend. If you're not
Your
married
spouse
yet.
and girlfriend.
I have
No
learned.
game is fun with
no
your
board
spouse
game
and
with your
I have
girlfriend.
learned that when you play a card game, always have your wife or friend as a partner, so that way you don't kill each other when you go home.
That's a good idea, actually.
Wait, why did you learn this? Did you kill your first wife?
We shall not speak of this.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Oops.
But
That's
Axis
what
and,
that grave in your backyard was.
Axis and Allies is actually
Axis and Allies
one
is
of
pretty
my
great.
Risk is good,
Oh.
but like if you want to go the next level, you play Axis and Allies. It's a good game.
Next level Risk. That just sounds horrible.
It is because
and
you have
great.
industry level, you
Yeah.
have ships, planes, automobiles. You know.
Yeah. Oh, I just got done. For the first time ever, I've beaten Total War, Medieval Total War 2. I finally have beaten it. I was
Nice.
so excited.
Medieval Total War 2. That
Medieval
sounds like
Total
a
War.
game.
I thought
You
it was
get
like Total War medieval,
Officer
It might be
Max.
that,
like
but
Total War Roman Empire, Total War.
It's
whatever.
basically it is that game. But I've had this game probably for at least 7 years.
wow.
And I've almost beaten it multiple times. And my wife left for Kansas, and I'm like, okay, this game is going down. I'm going to kick this game's butt.
I wondered because you weren't playing any Rainbow Six, so
Yeah, that's why, because I was playing that game.
I think I called you one night for some reason. And I was like, "What are you doing?" You're like, "I'm playing this game.
And the thing
I
is,
haven't showered in 2 days."
it's a combination of Risk and Axis and Allies, because you actually can control your forces in battle if you
Oh, wow.
want to. Or if you have a large army and you can just wipe them out, you just click. But you can actually set up your forces. Each force has a specific thing, like Calvert. You can actually have your infantry here and all this stuff. So it's actually a really epic game to play, and I finally beat it. Epic.
That sounds fun.
Epic. Should we wrap up this podcast?
Did we answer all the questions of
I
our
think
podcast?
so. I think we
Yeah,
answered
I think the only thing we
That's
didn't
fine.
talk about was Northwest State for a few minutes.
Thanks for joining us on this podcast, Lava / Morning Eggnog
/ GameCon
crossover.
2019.
/ slosh game
Sloshing.
The slushy.
I didn't have this
That
pulled
was
up.
funny. That was a funny joke that I just made. I hate
That was
myself.
hilarious. You can check us out on Facebook and Instagram for updates on what's going on. If you have any topics you want us to cover, if you want to be on the podcast, or if you want some merch, which this is all the merch we have is coasters and stickers, you can message us on Facebook, Instagram, or email us at thispodcastislava@gmail.com or morningeggnog@gmail.com. Be sure to check us out on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, and you can watch us
I think Sam
on YouTube.
wants
What do you
to say
want?
something.
For the record, we would have had a tablecloth today as part
You
of our
don't need
merch,
to bring this up.
but James forgot to buy it.
Oh.
All right, guys. Thanks. Bye.
Thanks for joining us. Later.
Death.